All right, we're back and we're diving back in. Let's go check out the Alexa Mini LF. So, as we go in there, what I want to do is I want to kind of talk about some of the menus, and to do that, I want to talk about this right here. Okay, these are the antennas that are in the Alexa Mini LF. And what's great about that is the Alexa Mini LF basically is a Wi-Fi port. Now you can go in the menu and cut off the Wi-Fi, but what's great about this is this allows you to access your Alexa Mini LF from a laptop or an iPad or anything else like that. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, if I just come here and go into my menu, you can come in here, it's very, very easy to find. I can just scroll down to info, pop, and then if I go to network info, I can actually see an IP address that's created by the camera. And in this situation, it can give you both an individual IP and a number. You can just dial that in. Now, one thing that Arri does recommend is Firefox is a very, very stable system for this. You can do Chrome and other things, but they like Firefox. It's very, very stable. And here's what's great. I can look at my number here, 192.168.1531. I can type it in, and I'll type that in here. And if I type it in, look at this. It says, Arri, it's waiting for data from the camera, and boom. I have everything that I need for my camera right there. What I want to do is I just want to use this as a way to show you how easy and some of the things you can do in the camera. Now, so as you can see, we can go and get any kind of frame rate we want. We got 23,976, 25, you know, frame rate, not a lot there. You can go all the way up 260 in 4K, open gate, all that. If I sit there and hit cancel, I want to do that. I have time code, shutter speed. Once again, the great thing about Arri is you can program any frame rate you want, just like any cinema camera. So, you know, you could do 1/148th of a second here, or if you want to do a 1/188th, you can set it. It's just how you want to set it up in the menu. We have our exposure index. So, you know, you can go anywhere from, you know, 160 down to 3200. We can set our ND filter. Another thing about the Arri Alexa that's wonderfully, wonderfully appreciated about the Mini LF is that it has built-in ND filters, which is just one of those things I think every single camera should have built in if it's a professional camera. It comes in built with a 0.6, 1.2, and 1.8 ND. So the other thing is that Arri is very, very meticulous about these filters. You introduce them, there is no color shift in the filters. So they're just really, really precise, really, really wonderful. You know you can use them and know your image is still gonna be protected. Okay, so the other thing, if you look here, is a standard white balance. You can sit there and set that. And what I really want to do is kind of come in here. This is sort of your main sort of operator's menu, but you can also come on your camera, and I can also sit here and get into my main setup window. And I just want to go real quick. There are a lot of technical videos. The point of this video is to show you just how simple the system is and how easy it is to work. I mean, I know if you look at this main menu system right here, that just makes sense. You know, almost anyone can pick that camera up if they have any base knowledge of camera and know they're comfortable working this camera and working with it. Your options inside the recording, they're not that complex, but they are very, very flexible and give you a lot of work. So the first thing you want to do is decide your recording codec. Now, the Arri Alexa Mini LF really records in two principal codecs. One is Arri RAW and the other is ProRes. And you have different flavors of ProRes you can do. One of the great things about shooting in Arri RAW is it does give you all the beautiful information and ability to go back and change things later in the future. We all know what's great about RAW. The downside to RAW, one of the things that traditionally kept people from shooting in RAW, is just that it's so cumbersome and huge to work with. Now, these are the Codecs compact cards that the Arri Alexa Mini LF uses, and these are a brand new type of technology, and they're fantastic because what they do is, first off, they're super, super small. You just pop them right in there. They come in 1 terabyte capacities. You pop them in there, and this is the only system in the Arri line that does this. is it allows you to take an ARRI RAW file, and when you're downloading it, you can actually save it in an HDE process, which essentially adds a very, very efficient compression system to the ARRI files, essentially taking over 30% of the file size down, and allows you to shoot an ARRI RAW in a much, much more compact fashion without some of the more intense compression things that you may see in other camera systems. So what this does, the Alexa Mini LF really is a system that lets you shoot in ARRI RAW in a much, much more efficient system. So really, really a cool thing about it. You can put it in there. Now, if you don't want to shoot in ARRI RAW, you can shoot in Apple ProRes 444. The good thing is all this comes in log C. It's all really, really simple, and all of it contains all of the same dynamic range as anything else. So shooting in Apple ProRes 4444 and ARRI RAW, they still have the same level of dynamic range, 14 stops. You still get the C-Log, you still get the future proofing. All of them have HDR kind of baked into them. So it really comes down to how much precision you want in that final image and file size. 4444 is a fantastic codecs too. It's one of the things that makes an ARRI an ARRI. You really can't choose a bad codec on it. But those are the options. It's one of the things that really make the Alexa Mini LF such a really interesting camera. The other thing you have are your recording resolutions. Now, you can shoot in large format in a standard 16:9 format, which is what we see in our normal TVs. Most broadcast stuff is done in 16:9. We can also shoot in a 2:3:9:1 aspect ratio. And the other thing that I think a lot of people will really appreciate is this. You can shoot in a large format open gate, which open gate takes the entire sensor of the large format camera and gives you that option. And it essentially gives you more room on the top and the bottom to shoot with. So you can frame it however you want later. If you want to make this a 16:9 image, you can. If you want to make it a 1.8:5, you can. 2.3.5, it doesn't matter. 2.3.9, you have the options to do this however you want. Some people actually like to do 4:3 framings, and I think the Lighthouse had something very similar to that too. All of this open gate gives you that flexibility to do that, and the wonderful thing about ARRI is you can actually bring your own frame lines in there. You can make them custom one in ARRI software and put it in your camera, or use what's there. So you can shoot an open gate, make sure you're getting as much pixel information as you need, and then you can always frame it up how you need to in post. Really, really great system. Real fast, you can also do your project settings where you can see this. This is where you can get it. And I'm not going to go through every single component here, but this is an important one. If you go to the media menu, you can erase your media. That's a basic formatting. But this is a super important one, prepare USB medium. And I'm going to show you why. If you look here in the Alexa Mini, and I open up my card slot, then not only do I have the place for my media, but I can also have a small USB slot. And I've got a little tiny USB thumb drive here. And check this out. I can put this in here just like this. I slip it in just like that. And I go in there, I close it, I have a USB in there. And now, if you do prepare USB medium, so if I do that, what'll happen is it'll confirm it, and I do that, and it will create a file structure on my USB card that allows this to, I can put this on a computer, I can play with a lot of the other ARRI software that's out there, and anytime, let's say I want to put a LUT, let's say I want to put a custom frame line, anything like that, I can go on my computer and do it, and it's basically structured, the camera can read it instantly. Very, very useful. The other thing about the USBs that I think are awesome, and this is what I think just about every cinema camera out there should have, is this. I set up this Alexa. I got it set up exactly the way I want it to be set up, right? But I've got a second camera. I could literally just save all the settings on this, pop out this USB, go to the other camera, plug it in, bam, I'm good to go. Let's say you have a shoot where you have maybe anamorphic, where you have slow motion stuff and you have different settings for different cameras. You can start at the beginning of the project, set up the camera the way you want, and just quickly, bam, 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 throw it off. And really the other thing that I think is just amazing about this is you can come in here and set the camera exactly the way you want it, right? And once you get it set, you save it to that USB, take it, put it in your office. A month later, 2 months later, another project comes up. You get another Alexa Mini LF US, another one like that. Here's what's great. You get the camera from the rental house, you come in, you put it in your USB, your camera's instantly set up the way you like it. And that's just a really, really great thing about Arri. I mean, I love how Arri makes these things so user-friendly and so ready to go. If you look at the monitoring window, you do have options here for your EVF. You can add magnification, surround sounds, peaking, all that good stuff like that. You can do your SDI outs. This is really where you can do the different formats. But as you can see, all of this stuff is very, very intuitive to how it works. We can do exposure tools, color bars. In our look system, this is really, really important. If you look here in the look system, you can see all the different things we have as well, monitoring. And then in the system, things like the sensor, the shutter unit. So, like right now I have exposure time. I personally prefer shutter angle. Let's set that to shutter angle, set. And now if I go back here, now you can see that I have this set to shutter angle, which I prefer. And then of course you can see all the different shutter angles. And then what's really awesome about the Alexa Mini LF is you can customize your buttons. I actually have buttons on my viewfinder that I can customize to do what I want. And then I can customize all of these buttons. And then if you have a first AC using a WCU4, you can customize all those buttons. And this is one thing I personally love about this camera as well, having the Wi-Fi. If you come into metadata, I can actually come into production and I can put the name of my thing right here. I can put Def Director, we set that. I can do the director, Bryan Redding. Set, I can set in my cinematographer, my camera operator, all that stuff, location, scene, boom, it's all right there, and it's all in the metadata, and now it's all saved. Really, really helpful. The ECS is essentially my electronic control system. It allows me to control the system if you have first ACs using wireless, stuff like that. Very, very important. That's way too much to go into now. Info gets you into what's going on with the camera. Very important for versions, if you need software, system info, lets you know the serial number. For some reason you need the serial number, you can get it, the operating hours. It's also important if you ever are in a situation where maybe you do have, these cameras are built like tanks. If something were to go wrong, the RA tech might ask you to access some of this information. And finally, alerts. These things are so tough, you don't get these very often, but let's say you're in a situation where you have a problem with the media, it's not formatted right, this could let you off on an alert. Okay, a lot of information. It's a simple camera, but there's some depth. And really what I want to do is just show you what the camera is, kind of some background to it, so you can kind of start making an informed decision whether this is a system you want to have. And really, that's just the last thing I come to, is just this is such a simple and beautifully elegant situation that it doesn't matter what world you're coming from. You can take this camera and literally within just a few minutes, get up to speed and operating on it. All right, guys, thanks a lot. I appreciate it. And let me know in the comments down below if there's anything else you'd like to see about the Alexa Mini LF that you'd like me to do a video on, and I'll go ahead and do it. All right, you have a good one.